What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another Palantir update. So what we're going to go over in this one is we have an article that was linked directly on Palantir's Twitter, and it goes over a space exploration cooperation agreement that they are engaging in. Now, if you read closely into this article, you can see that Palantir actually, at the current time, has a cooperation agreement or a partnership, or has even been granted a contract with the United States Space Force. So this is very big news, and just kind of goes along with what I've been saying over the past couple of weeks and months, that Palantir's total addressable market at the current time, in my opinion, is unlimited, meaning that the possibility and potential for this company is also unlimited as well. We're also going to go over some of the institutional ownership for Palantir going into their earnings, and we also have some more news on this cryptocurrency fraud prevention effort that Palantir has been possibly engaging in over the past couple of months. We have a lot to cover in this video, so make sure you guys stick around until the end so you're caught up on everything that is going on with Palantir. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys would like to earn 2 free stocks with Webull valued up to $1,850, make sure you check out that link down below in my description. All you have to do is sign up for an account, deposit over $100, and you get access to those 2 free stocks. And if you guys enjoy the information and analysis that I provide for you in these videos, make sure you go down and hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I'm trading and which strategies I'm using to trade them. So today, Palantir is trading pretty flat. We are seeing it overall bounce off of these lows. We are up about 10 or 11% in the last trading week. Now, in the pre-market period, we were up a pretty significant amount, but right as the market opened, the overall market and the key indexes started to sell off, which kind of brought everything down. Now, I also want to touch upon something that I actually missed in my last Palantir video that one of you guys pointed out to me. So thank you guys for actually pointing this out to me in the comments. So I like to look at the open interest on the option change to kind of get a understanding of where options traders and short-term price speculators are thinking that a given stock will go in the near future, especially when we have a key date coming up, such as earnings. So I've seen a couple of different dates for Palantir's earnings. I've seen May 4th. I've also seen May 18th, but I also have not seen anything concrete come out from Palantir about when they're going to be reporting their earnings. So in my last video, we went over this $25 strike, and it's pretty normal to see that these at-the-money strikes have a pretty high open interest. So again, open interest is essentially the amount of contracts that are being held in people's brokerage accounts at the current time, because the definition of open interest is essentially the amount of contracts that are out in the market that have not been exercised or closed. But when we come down here and take a look at this $30 strike, there is a 90,269 open interest, and the volume is pretty high on these as well. So a lot of people are buying a lot of contracts on this $30 strike for Palantir. Now, if we are able to get close to this $30 strike by this expiration date, this would set up for a very significant gamma squeeze. So I've explained this in a couple of my other videos, but essentially what happens for a gamma squeeze to occur is, in order to buy an options contract, you have to buy it from somebody. Typically, you are buying it from an institution, and they are selling you naked calls. Now, naked calls are one of the most risky things that you can sell because the potential loss is unlimited. Now, when the stock price gets close to a strike that has a very high open interest, the institutions have to do what is called delta hedging. So they go out on the open market and buy the appropriate amount of shares to cover all of these contracts. What this does is it creates massive buying pressure, which pushes up the share price of the stock. So a gamma squeeze is different than a short squeeze, so it's typically more short-lived, and you see a quick spike and sometimes a pretty quick sell-off because all of the contracts have been covered. So let's get into the other information that we need to talk about in this video about Palantir. So when we come over here, EOS Space Systems partners with Palantir Australia on space operations exercise. So EOS Space Systems partnered with Palantir Australia to participate in the Sprint Advanced Concept Training, a global space space operations training event led by the United States, which took place from April 5th through April 9th. So this is pretty important. They are partnering with this company out in Australia. But what I want to bring up to you guys is that when we scroll down to the bottom, we can see that Palantir provides a space command and control Space C2 capability to the U.S. Space Force, integrating and modeling enormous amounts of space domain data sets into its modern architecture and disseminating data to the operational units to track objects and monitor space traffic. This seems like to me that Palantir already has a contract with Space Force. Now, I also want to briefly touch upon another Palantir contract, but I just want to put a disclaimer out there for you guys. I was not able to personally verify this contract myself, so take this with a grain of salt. So when we come over to this Reddit page, we can see that this Reddit user says that we have won another contract with the U.S. Air Force. The contract is pandemic related and worth $6 million. Now, when you click on these links, I tried to sign up for an account to actually find this, but you really get this blank page here. You can't see anything. And when you come over here, you get the same thing right here. So I was not able to personally verify this. So let's see where this takes us in the future on if we were actually able to receive this new Air Force contract. Now let's take a brief look at some of the institutional ownership for Palantir going into their earnings. So we see a lot of institutions with very substantial positions. We see BlackRock, 72 investment holdings, Vanguard, JP Morgan, Soros Fund Management, as we can see here. If you guys don't know who George Soros is, he's a pretty controversial figure right now. He made a lot of money on a pretty interesting Forex trade back in the day. So he's a pretty interesting individual if you want to take a look at. He recently was in the news a couple of months ago due to selling off some of his Palantir shares due to their business practices. But as we can see right here, he still owns about 18.5 million shares. So it's not really a big deal. We also don't see ARK Invest pretty high up on this list. And when we come over here, we can see that ARK Invest owns about 20 million shares of Palantir, according to Kathy's ARK, this site right here. Now, the reason why they're not listed up here is because they haven't filed their 13F yet for the previous quarter. So we can scroll down a little bit further and actually see where ARK is down here. It's actually pretty far down. I think they're right in here. Yeah, ARK W right here. They are listed here. So the reason why we are able to see exactly what ARK actually has is because they put out their trade notifications every single day. Now, I also want to get into this Bitcoin and crypto fraud prevention that Palantir has been getting involved in. So last week, this was a couple of weeks ago that this article came out. I've already made a video on this, but I want to expand on it because we have received some new information. So last week, Palantir chairman Peter Thiel claimed that he is a Bitcoin maximalist while simultaneously warning about the threat that Bitcoin poses to the dollar's position as a reserve currently. While there's no publicly disclosed link between this IRS program and Palantir, the IRS is scanning Bitcoin transactions under Operation Hidden Treasure, and the IRS already uses Palantir to find tax evasion. So essentially, the gist of this article is that the IRS is working to prevent fraud in these crypto exchanges and essentially money laundering. And this article is kind of making the point that the IRS already uses Palantir to provide tax evasion. So it's possible that Palantir has been repurposed in the IRS to actually help out with this crypto fraud prevention. But when we come over to this LinkedIn job posting for PayPal, we can see that this is going to be a job posting for senior investigator crypto risk. So when we come down a little bit further, the job description summary, PayPal is looking for a highly talented, self-motivated, and analytical individual to work complex investigations as part of the data-driven investigations team. The role will report to the head of DDI and be responsible for responding to a variety of investigative requests from senior leaders in global financial crimes and consumer protection. In addition, this individual will be responsible for generating proactive inquiries into high-risk data sets aggregated through the lenses of the country, product, and industry to catch smoldering embers before they become fire. So essentially, if you read through all of this, this has to do with crypto fraud prevention. And when we come down a little bit further, this is a pretty lengthy job posting. So you guys can read this. I will link this down below in the description as well. So the job requirements we can see here, they want this individual to have a Palantir prerequisite. So it's pretty long. long as we can see here, but we can see a bachelor degree required, advanced degree preferred, and we can see prior data and analysis and data visualization experience plus Tableau, Palantir, and I2. So Peter Thiel and PayPal already have a previous relationship, so I would not be surprised if PayPal is using one of Palantir's platforms at the current time in order to manage this fraud prevention. So when we move back over to the chart of Palantir, at the current time, again, we are still trading extremely flat. But again, you have to keep in mind that we are up about 10%, a little over 10% in the last week. So I think this is very encouraging for investors because we are finally seeing some good news reflected in the share price of Palantir. Now, we also have their earnings coming up, and that, in my opinion, is going to be an extremely important catalyst for Palantir. So that is going to conclude this update on Palantir. If you guys enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I'm trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a very profitable day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.